Hey guys, it's Phantom here, and welcome back to a brand new video, everyone, where in today's video, I am going to be teaching you, yes you, how you can be a more successful WizTuber, or really just YouTuber in general. Essentially, I have had quite the ride during like these last 2 years on YouTube. Stuff's been, kind of pretty crazy and everything. I'm sure, a lot of you watching this, right now, were probably there when my channel just quote-unquote like blew up, I guess, in the Wiz community and everything like that. So I thought I would make a video just kind of talking about my experience, I guess you could call it, my overall experience in the YouTube sphere, what it has taught me, what I have done to kind of, improve this channel and just improve, myself and my personality in general and all of that. So yeah. This video is, of course, for people who, kind of want to get into YouTube or get into WizTube. Sorry, I'm never going to use that term again. But yeah, people who just kind of want to become content creators in general, but they don't really know exactly where to start, whether that's just like making Wizard 101 videos or pretty much just any video in general that you want to create. The reason I was inspired to do this is because as of late, I have gotten many questions, many questions on basically like how you can grow a channel, etc, and be successful on YouTube and all that. And I know I have not obtained like an extremely huge amount of success. I think I have like about 12.7k subs at the time of me recording this, so it's like nothing insane, right? But it is some numbers, right? And like some numbers I'll take, man, I'll take at the end of the day. So yeah, essentially just gonna be teaching y'all how I got those. So the first important point that I would like to bring up is the fact that you are going to need some decent equipment for yourself when starting YouTube. Yes, this is definitely very important and can really impact the quality of your videos. So I mean, essentially all you kind of really need is like a microphone, right? I mean, a headset would be preferred, but I guess you don't really need it. And then some recording software and some like editing software and all of that stuff like that. Editing software and like thumbnail making software and stuff like that. I'll get into that a little bit more later, but yeah, I kind of just want to focus on like the main equipment that you have, right? And I would say one thing that is super duper important for just making quality videos is definitely gonna be your microphone. Now, this is it's kind of gonna vary really depending on like the individual, what you kind of like want to purchase yourself, as well as your budget, right? But I believe when I was starting out, I think I had like a blue snowball mic or something like that, which like served me okay for a little bit of time, and then it broke somewhere down the line. And then the quality of my, not necessarily the quality of my videos, but the quality of the audio in my videos just like kind of took a turn for the worst, and my channel really did not get much attention during that time at all. And oh gosh, the audio, I mean, looking back at some of my older videos, was definitely a problem. But around the time when my channel actually did blow up, kind of at the start of quarantine, right, beginning in 2020, I got a new microphone, and my audio sounded pretty good for a while there. And the microphone was the Blue Yeti microphone. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. It's kind of a common microphone to start with, not too complicated, sounds really nice. So definitely recommend that kind of stuff to beginners. But yes, the audio, right, the quality of your voice in your videos is really going to be really important, because it's just essentially what people are listening to. On the topic of kind of overall production, right, the overall production aspects of your video, other things that are going to be very important to you are going to be thumbnails, as well as video editing software, and of course recording software, right? So basically, let me just tackle recording software real fast here. The one that I use, the recording software that I've used for a really long time, is OBS. It is free software. It's super fucking good. I mean, get the right settings that are really like compatible with your PC and everything, and you should be good to go on that. There's tons of tutorials online just talking about some of the best settings for the recorders, so you should definitely be able to make some decent quality videos with that. And as for the whole editing side of things of your videos, I feel like this is something that a lot of people kind of stress less about, but I mean, I'll just tell you the software that I use pretty much outright. So I use Vegas Pro, which of course is a video editing software. Don't really know much more to say kind of about the software itself than that, but as for the actual like editing that you're going to want to do on your videos, it's really kind of up to you. It's kind of up to you in the sense that you can pretty much include whatever you so please. But I mean, I would say the only sort of editing that is like really necessary for making high quality videos is cutting. Cutting is just extremely important, you know, just cutting out all of the parts that you don't want, right? It can literally make or break a video. It's the difference between just like a raw recording and a just pristine video file, you know? You gotta have cutting in your video because nobody can talk straight for just like hours on end. Like hours upon hours of just premium content, just spitting straight facts. Like nobody can do that, come on. So you gotta have some of your cuts, you know, you gotta have some cuts in your video to just sort of break things up and, you know, kind of link ideas together and all of that stuff. It is definitely super important, and I highly recommend that everyone who decides to go into like video making learns how to do it, because it's literally just the most basic thing. It's not even that hard, but yeah, that is definitely one kind of essential editing tactic that you are going to want to have. I mean, there's also the fact that tools such as like Photoshop and Vegas Pro or Adobe Premiere, whatever you kind of use for your videos, there is the fact that these kind of different softwares are pretty expensive, right? They tend to be on kind of the more expensive end of things, and I just want to say, I mean, if you don't want to buy it, there are ways that you can get certain things online for free. I'm just gonna put that out there. Anyways, moving on to the kind of thumbnail side of things, I do want to say that thumbnails are also super important for your video, but definitely important in a sort of different way. So of course the thumbnail is not actually part of the video itself, it's just the cover image for the video, and this is super important because it is literally the first thing people see when your video pops up. So you definitely want to have an eye-catching thumbnail, and I mean eye-catching thumbnails, at least in my opinion, just kind of, well, they constitute bright colors, you know, just like overall brightness with just like a bunch of color thrown in there. I mean, just literally take a look at many different YouTubers' thumbnails, for example. Take my thumbnails, for example, and you'll kind of see what I mean. So, I mean, this is another thing. And by the way, I would just like to mention for all of this, it's a learning curve, you know? It does take practice to just kind of get better with all of that. I know it took me a long time myself, so you know, don't get discouraged if you're not a natural at just everything right away, because that is rarely the case for most people. But yes, going back to thumbnails, they are extremely important, and you should definitely get some kind of photo creating, photo editing software, right? So for example, I use Photoshop. I think that's like what most people use. There are a couple different other pretty good softwares out there, but it's the one that most people are familiar with. So I mean, pretty much like, the only thing that I can say is a lot of these softwares, like, they might seem pretty daunting at first when you just kind of take a look at the layout of everything, but just go online, watch some tutorials. Seriously, it will change your life and completely change just kind of the way you think about like all of these different softwares and how you work them, and they're just really helpful. So I spent a lot of time myself, I know, doing all of that, so I could learn different techniques to make my own personal thumbnails look better, and I think that my channel has definitely benefited from it. So I would definitely recommend it, and I just want to say it's not as hard as you think. Alright, now it is time to kind of move away from like all of that technical, boring stuff and just really get into the heart of it. Really get into what the meat of each video is. What does that even mean? So these are pretty much different tactics that you can use to ensure more, well, not, I guess nothing's really like ensured, you know, with just kind of videos like this, right, where talking about just unprecedented stuff, at least in terms of like the context of the person who's performing the actions. Hope that made sense. But anyways, though, there's one tip that I'd like to give you all. One very important tip that has just helped me so much in kind of my process with making videos and everything, and like watching those videos become more and more successful. And that is the fact that you need to be consistent with how much you are uploading. There are so many instances, like it's actually just like hard to count them all, really, of just YouTubers who will just like post a bunch of stuff for like a week or two and then completely stop because they're just burnt out on everything and they never ever want to pick up video making ever again. And I would say those are kind of the people that take the message of consistent uploading a little bit too far and just post daily, like just right off the bat, and then just kind of like ruin everything for themselves. So you kind of get the same outcome as people on the other end of the spectrum who just don't upload enough in general, and they're like wondering what's the problem. It's like, oh man, yeah, I'm uploading once a month, but why don't they love me yet? And of course, this is kind of going to depend on the type of channel you are and the content that you produce, but I'd say it's a pretty good rule of thumb to at least upload several times during the month. I would say like at least for like kind of a general guideline, as general as I can get here. Obviously it's going to depend on the videos you're making, as I've said, but I would say once a week is like a pretty decent kind of middle ground in between barely uploading at all and uploading way too much. I'd say like anything kind of around there, like any amount of days that you could just take for yourself, right, and enjoy the content when you produce it will definitely be more beneficial and will just contribute to your content just being better and having you just kind of be more energetic and engaging with the video. Aside from the fact that consistent uploads are very, very important to the success of a channel, I would dare say there is something out there that is even more important, and that is pretty much, well, just some advice that I could give you. Don't get discouraged, you know, don't get discouraged in kind of your journey on YouTube, because remember, my friend, at the end of the day, you are here to have fun. You're not here to see these numbers rise, and if you are, I can guarantee you that there probably won't be very much success for you in this field. That is kind of another small thing that I would like to bring up. You know, if you're just doing YouTube, right, because of the quote-unquote money that you think you'll earn, I mean, I think that's just a pretty poor reason in the first place, and it just shows that you truly don't really enjoy what you're doing. You're just kind of seeing it as a means to an end, which is a recipe for disaster. So please just only do it if you just want to. That's another piece of advice that I could give you. But basically, I was kind of talking about, just like at the start of this segment here, is the fact that you should not be discouraged, or don't let yourself get discouraged easily, because that is something that can happen super easily on YouTube, especially at the start when you have nothing built up. Low views on videos, or really just no views at all, is pretty much 99% of the reason why people just stop doing YouTube like right at the start in the first place. Because, you know, if you're putting in the time and effort, which a lot of people are, and they're not getting instant results out of it, or at least results soon after, well, it can really work to discourage a lot of people. But the best advice that I can give is just don't give up. You know, like, I know it's super fucking generic, you probably hear it all of the time, but if you don't give up, and if you stick to it, and you put in the effort to make some actually really good content, like, people are going to find you. People will. If you put in that time, and if you put in enough of it, of course it's going to kind of vary on your luck, right? And if you are actually good at what you do. But if you're not discouraged, man, really, there's nothing that can stop you. Truly, if I may say, world domination is only a step away when you realize that you can actually do it. So yeah, there you go. I mean, that's pretty much the best analogy that I can give you. But yes, building a channel will take you some time unless you're just super duper lucky, but please don't bank on that, or you're gonna be very disappointed. So yeah, just be patient with the entire process, and if you truly enjoy what you do, I mean, success is really only a step away, like I've said. I would also say, when you are kind of beginning the video creating process, it is really helpful to go into the actual recording of the video with kind of a plan in mind, right? This can definitely just help to ensure that your videos just have like a better structure and overall just flow more nicely, and everything will pretty much just be improved because of it. Now, I know that this definitely took me a little bit of time to figure out, because I mean, I used to just make videos with like no cuts whatsoever, you know, no plans going in. I just hit that record button and I just did it. and people noticed. People definitely noticed the little amount of effort that I put in, and my video quality definitely suffered for it, and my commentary as well. Now, I'm not saying you need to write an entire fucking script for your videos, because I mean, I don't do that, right? And look where I am, man, just the absolute paragon of success. So don't worry, you definitely don't need to do that. Just like go into each video with like a couple of bullet points, and the commentary, you know, will follow, whether it's good or not. I mean, that definitely takes time to just kind of hone and practice, but if you have like general ideas of what you're going to be talking about, that can really help for sure. You know, just make like a little list on the side and stuff like that, and I'm sure you'll notice a difference. Okay, and last but certainly not least, because this video is just getting way too long already, oh man, well, you're gonna need your own style. You're gonna need your own style for each one of the videos that you produce. Now, this is a bit tricky, and I would say this is kind of the hardest part of the whole video making process, I guess, because it goes like hand in hand with recording, right? And yeah, it's pretty much just like the personality that you put on to the camera. I think it tends to be really hard for people to kind of project themselves right into the recording of kind of whatever it is that they're doing, and just kind of like develop a personality for YouTube and all of that stuff. And once again, yeah, have it go along with whatever they're doing and stuff like that. Like, it's a really hard thing to do, and especially to like have that appeal to a wide variety of people. It's not easy. It's not easy. This is definitely the hardest part, really, just of YouTube in general. But I would say it's also the most important part, because it literally just influences how entertaining you are as a whole. And you gotta be authentic too. I mean, people are going to notice if you copy someone's direct style, right? What is even? Okay, I'm sorry. What is just? What is this? Anyways, yeah, people are definitely going to notice if you just directly copy someone's commentary and style of making videos, because every single one of us as individuals are unique. You know, we have all of our different ways of doing things. We all have, you know, unique traits and characteristics. So it's gonna be pretty obvious, right, when you just, I don't know, let's just say I watch a Blaze Lifehammer video, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just structure literally everything exactly how he does it, because, you know, he did it once and was successful, so why can't I? The thing is, that just doesn't really work, because it's just already been done before. Now, I would definitely say getting inspiration from other YouTubers and copying a little bit of what they do is definitely beneficial for the start of the whole video making process, as, you know, it kind of gets you on your feet with something that you're at least decently comfortable, right, with doing, because none of us wants to be ourselves, right? I mean, that's absolutely terrifying. Like, who would ever want to do that? But copying a style for a little while is, you know, kind of fine to get you on your feet, but eventually there will come a time, right, when, I mean, the time of necessity will happen, and you gotta rise to the occasion a little bit. But I mean, it's like, okay, I'm making it out to be much more dramatic than it is, but basically I'll kind of describe just like how I learned to kind of commentate in sort of my own way, and definitely a little bit more effectively overall. So pretty much what happened was, obviously I watched Blaze and Blue for a really long time, still do sometimes, so definitely not as much, and those two were kind of my biggest inspirations for making videos. And I think at the start, right, I mean, I kind of tried to be like them a little bit, because I had looked up to them like all this time, and now I kind of wanted to delve into a similar thing that they were doing. So really, just by human nature, I wanted to do that. I wanted to be like them. So I sort of did that at the start a little bit. I think some people were kind of picking up on it, but an amazing thing happened. An amazing thing happened, and that was pretty much throughout time, from just like kind of doing my thing for a little bit and just making more and more videos. I started to become a lot more just comfortable with myself and commentating over videos in general. I think when that kind of happens, you just branch out a bit, your personality just kind of evolves a little bit, and then you realize, well, it's okay to put your own spin on things, like it really is, and you'll just kind of be better for it, and your videos will be better for it as well. And this will also establish kind of yourself as like a sort of person, that a unique person right, that people will go to for content because of the fact that they have a cool and unique personality. It's as simple as that. It's not that simple, but it is that. So yeah, I mean, through time you will just get better and better at video making and realize that, you know, being yourself, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, right? And of course there is room to grow on that journey as well. But that is pretty much going to be it for this video, everyone. Really hope you guys did enjoy. Hope this did help you out at least a little bit. I mean, if you did enjoy, you could always leave a like on the video or subscribe to the channel. That would help me out immensely, and I would appreciate it very, very much. But anyways, though, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I'm kind of really curious about this sort of topic in particular because I feel like a lot of people kind of aspire to be sort of a, you know, YouTuber, making videos for people to watch. It sounds pretty cool, you know, on paper and everything. So I definitely want to hear, like, thoughts, opinions, feedback, and all that stuff. But anyways, I will see you all in the next video or stream, whatever that may be. So take care, and peace out, guys.